I think I'm ready to do some digging. I'm ready to bury a movie.
Nice. You got your digging pants on. All right, so
Yes, I
let's
do.
talk about it. Let's look at Wish, which I said, and I will admit, I
Mhm.
said slam doink number 1.
Okay, you
And
did say that. You did say
right,
that.
and any other time in any other year, that would be the case. Now I know last year, Strange World opened a 12-3 day,
Mhm.
like 25 day,
19. I think it was like 19 or 18 point something.
right? So that I thought was an outlier because it looked bad. It had that pulpy sort of sci-fi thing that never works.
Mhm.
Wish was a princess movie. This is the bread and butter of Disney. And I thought, okay, kids are going to go see this, families are going to go see this, the Disney adults are going to go see this. Christopher, this made 19.5 in its 3 day. That is only 7 million off from Strange World, which is a all-time disaster. And this thing kept going down and down and down. It's an opposite Bad Boys for Life. We
Mhm.
were watching this movie dwindle and dwindle to the point where Hunger Games was dead heat with it, then beat it. Napoleon was dead
Napoleon.
heat with it
Yep.
and beat it. Napoleon beat Wish. It is shocking that this happened, but I should have seen it coming. We should have seen it coming. Now, Christopher, did you see this coming?
I kind of want to say yes, but no. I even thought, like, especially Disney pushing the 100th anniversary angle, making it seem like this was like callback to all the classic Disney, especially like the Renaissance era. And I
Mhm.
think even Disney thought they had a hit on their hands, but
Yeah.
clearly something didn't click with general audiences, and no one wanted to go see this movie. Somehow, a 2.5 hour R-rated historical epic made more this weekend than a new Disney animated princess movie, which is just crazy to say.
It is crazy, and so we always say that rats need their cheese, and that is why I think me and Pat went higher on this than we normally would with
But you
the track
guys,
record,
you did say, you mentioned it, or actually, I think it was you. You did try to say the rats already have their cheese with trolls.
and that's
I
what I was
did,
gonna get to.
yeah.
That's what I was gonna get to is that these rats want brie, which is
Mm-hmm.
trolls,
Yep.
and this is not brie. Wish is not brie, okay? I don't know what, it's Limburger.
Okay.
Wish is Limburger cheese. So we should have seen this coming, and part of the reason is I don't know what this movie was about. I still don't know what this movie was about, truly. I think they did a terrible job of promoting it as to
Mm-hmm.
what it actually was about. And I guess it's about wishing and people own the wishes and it's
Yeah,
liberating
so
your wishes.
somehow it was supposed to be tied to like the Disney wish, the Disney like star. That was like
Star
the what? Yeah, I don't really know. Some guy was trying to steal some wishes. That's basically all I know.
and this little star character looked like no fun. It like I think the look of it looked old school. It didn't look innovative or fun.
No, it did. I think they were trying to go for like a 2D Spider Verse style, which seems to be big now, and they just like it did not hit.
Yeah. And listen, just because Pat is gone doesn't mean we're gonna go around and just like step in all the shit. Because we're
Oh,
not gonna do
no.
that.
Mm-mm.
Because you're a student at school, you want to be able to graduate, you want to be able to stay in your great university and graduate and not have people say, this this kid went on this podcast and he stepped in all this shit. We don't need
No.
you to do that. We're not gonna step in shit. What I'm gonna say about Disney
Mm-hmm.
is something is wrong.
Yeah.
And I do think that they need to change what they're doing as a business because businesses are supposed to make money. Yes. Can you make art and also make money? You can. But they are doing neither right now.
No,
They're
they are not.
making uninspired movies and they are not making money. So they are a failure. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever they're doing to drive the public away, they need to stop doing it. Or they need to get some different minds in there. They need to get some innovative thinkers to
Mm-hmm.
lead the people. Because right now they're not leading anybody. True artists lead. they give you something you didn't know you wanted. And that is what Disney isn't doing. It's not going forward and pushing things to the point where you're like, oh my God, that was so innovative that I needed to sort of like wrap my head around it the way
Mhm.
Pixar became. Now it's just recycled stuff that people don't want. And the story element is getting lost. There's
Yeah.
no great stories being told by this institution that has a catalog of amazing stories. And they've come back from things like this before. Black Cauldron is a movie
Mhm.
that bankrupted them basically. It has a cult following now. Will that happen to Strange World? I don't know. I can't see into the future. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know. But right now, it doesn't matter what people 20 years from now are going to think about Strange World or Wish. It matters right now what everybody thinks about them. And people think they stink.
And on top of that's not even a problem with just the animation. Marvel, Star Wars, even Pixar, all of Disney's once flagship brands are now all in the toilet. And this is
Yes.
crazy. Who would have thought 4 years ago, coming off the 2019 year of Avengers Endgame, Frozen 2, The Lion King, that 4 years later we would be saying somehow Disney is now the worst studio
I mean,
at the box
listen,
office.
they own Marvel, they own Star Wars now. They have the Muppets. The Muppets are rags. We know this. The
Yeah.
the Muppets are being used to wax Bob Iger's car, as they
Yeah.
should be, right?
Yeah.
That's fine with me. I'm not here saying, oh, they should do more with the Muppets, because at this point, they are doing nothing good with any of these things that they own. And Iger, you know, a lot of blame went on Bob Chapstick for a lot of this stuff.
Mhm.
And Iger was the one who was put this stuff on Disney Plus, and he's the guy who came back and was supposed to save everything, and they're in a worse position than they've ever been.
I honestly think even if Iger didn't leave, they would be in the same exact position because he kind of just left all of this to Chapstick. He
Yeah.
screwed it up more, and then Iger came back to try and unscrew himself, and then
Mhm.
just keeps making it even worse.
Yeah, I mean, I watching these numbers go down, I was just so shocked by number 3. I this movie coming in at number 3 is so terrible.
So
I
terrible.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to look at these numbers. So, like, the Tuesday night showings were pretty decent.
Yeah,
They were,
Tuesday
like,
night still, yeah, that's still
on
pointed to like a 45 to 50 million opening. I think that was like basically in line with Coco and Moana. So
yeah.
everyone started off thinking this was going to be like a decent return, and then yeah, as you saying, just throughout the weekend it just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing that I was when I was watching these numbers, I was like, "Okay, people are traveling, the Tuesday and the Wednesday, listen, you're wrangling the kids, getting them in
Hmm.
airplane seats, it's terrible. Thursday, you're with the fam. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those were the days I thought Wish was gonna feast,
Hmm.
and it just was a down trajectory, and that's bad. That is very bad for this movie,
Oh yeah, that is terrible. I just can't believe it. And
and it
honestly, I was sort of surprised because the cinema score wasn't. It was an A minus, which I know isn't great, but it
Mhm.
wasn't terrible. I thought it would definitely be able to somewhat recover. Maybe pull like a Shrek situation where the first like 2 days were terrible, and then over the weekend it explodes. But yeah, no, it just down, down, down.
Now, all Disney animation usually gets A or A minus or what. I think Strange World was the first one to get a B ever.
Oh, okay.
And so that is sort of par for the course that even a terrible Disney movie, the fanatics will still give it an A or an A minus. So the fanatics, I guess, were sticking up for this movie, like this movie. I mean, we had the great Scott Mendelson tweeting out this great tweet about how it's the worst Disney movie since Chicken Little.
Hmm.
And I mean, I'm not a Disney guy, so I don't really know if that's true, but I know Scott knows what he knows, and I
Hmm.
believe him. And so that's the buzz you're hearing, is that this is a terrible movie all around. And I don't, maybe not terrible in an offensive way, but just boring and
Yeah, I like.
inconsequential in a way that
Hmm.
that Disney movies aren't or weren't for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and I hear for a musical, which is supposedly Disney's bread and butter, that even the music's just kind of average. There's not going to be any type of Encanto. We don't talk about Bruno's situation where it gets this like huge bump because of that. There's
Yeah.
going to be none of that. The kids are going to forget about this and just go back to singing whatever song gets remixed in Trolls World Tour.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Trolls is a big winner here because that's what the rats wanted. The rats
Mm.
wanted that.
Trolls made more in its first weekend than Wish did in its entire 5-day.
That is so shocking.